Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and gotta be honest, I've had a couple tonight. We ordered pizza for dinner, so I had a beer, and then there was a half a bottle of wine sitting there from Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm like, you can't let that go to waste, so you gotta finish that. So I'm finishing it. Anyway, so I decided, why not? We're going to watch Real Genius tonight. It's a movie that I watched a lot as a kid when I was a teenager, and I thought it was funny, and we're going to watch it tonight and see, is the movie that Dad thought it was funny really that funny or not? I'm hoping that my kids actually stay up and try to watch it. Maybe my older son will. I don't know about my younger son, but we'll see. Maybe they'll find it funny or not. So I thought, well, I got time before we're going to start watching the movie. So I'm going to do a couple of episodes. The first one, well, not the first episode. I'm going to do a episode, but the first thing on the list that I'm going to do, excuse me. Oh my goodness. All that wine. Got to get the constraints generated. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. How do I, find out if a method has, and I only care about this when I generate the mock types. And I don't think you can make a I don't think you can make a type that has a constructor with a constructor generic. I don't think that's allowed. So we're going to say mock method void builder. And just to prove me correct, I'm going to say public class x of t. Okay. And then we're going to say public x of t. I think it's going to bark at that. Yeah, you can't do that. That is not allowed. Remember that Delta commercial? Smoking is not allowed. I always thought that was whatever. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about. All right. So, yeah. Why did I even bring that up? I have no idea. Oh, constraints, because they won't be on constructors. Okay, so we just need them on where we say this. So method dot constraints. How do you get constraints? Because that's construct. How in the world would you get generic? Does it have any type parameters? Oh, great. I bet I know where this is going. Type arguments. Let's assume we had 0 constraints. No. Special type. All interfaces base type. You are going to suck. This is going to be fun to find, I bet. Well, or maybe not. Maybe it's going to be really easy. Maybe it's going to just like jump out at me and surprise the crap out of me and go, hey, look, there's your constraints. Okay, well, I'm not going to be able to figure it out this way. We're going to have to go the hard route. Am I Canadian? I don't know. We're going to do this. We're going to say, yeah, on a method. So we're just going to do that. And then we're going to say we have a foo of t. Okay, foo t. God, I'm an idiot. Okay, so this doesn't take any arguments. It doesn't matter if it takes arguments or not. We're eventually going to hit this point. And what I want to do is I want to see, hey, when we get to this point, do we run into, of course we're not going to run into constraints. I didn't put any constraints on this. I'm an idiot. You're going to go into the debugger. You're going to waste my time because I told you to waste my time. And then you're going to stop. Why do I have the diagnostic tools up? I never look at these things. What is this? Oh, why? You should void f of, that doesn't make any sense. Why would it think that type has no mockable members? Why? Methods. It found none? How could it find none? Whoa. Public interface. Well, good. Okay, so yeah, it is no longer a generic. Right. There we go. So I'm surprised that even worked. But before we move on, we want to say where T is a class. Okay. And I just want to make sure that if I do this, this is correct. Okay. That is fine. And I don't remember all the constraints. I'm hoping that they put all the constraints in one spot. I think before I had to like look at types and other things and kind of figure out oddities in terms of whether it was constrained or not. So let's hope this time that it actually, the constraints will show up somewhere. I don't know where. So let's go into the media window here and let's say method type arguments, or do I want type parameters? Okay, so we should have one. Okay, so let's say 0 dot, okay, there. That's right. That makes sense because if I do type arguments, those are already resolved. So if I would say type arguments, there's still going to be one there, but there would not be constraints. Yeah, that's on the type parameters. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Type parameters 0, constraint types. The types that were directly specified as constraints on the type parameter. Really? Constraint has reference type constraint. There's can be seen has constructor constraint. Oh yeah, has not null constraint, has reference type constraint, has value type constraint. Oh, you can just bite me. I'm going to have a thing that says get constraints. You give it a type and it will tell you, well, type parameter. What is this? This is a get type name. It's a type parameter symbol. So I think I need an iType parameter symbol and say get constraints, and then we wanted to just omit all of the constraints. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go to type yeah, you know what I mean. Extensions, we don't have an iType parameter, so we're going to do well, hold on. Okay, I'm here. Method.type parameters. Constraint types. What would that be on? iType parameter symbol. Yeah, that's what we want. What about a type itself? Like what I'm getting at is, because if you had on a type, you have the type. Yeah, never mind. I'm overthinking it. Okay. It could possibly be the alcohol. Possibly. Maybe. iType parameter symbol extensions. You have to, you got to be, you got to be responsible for your drinking. Okay. And I'm responsible. I'm at home, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to teach my kids about real genius tonight. I mean, how responsible of a parent could you be? Internal, static, string, get constraints of an iType parameter symbol. No, it's got to be this, thus. I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates when he said, I drank what? Thusly. Jeez. Okay. So where do we even start with this? Var constraints is equal to new list of string. Okay. Return count is greater than, no, equal to 0, string.empty. Else, we're going to say that where, and now we need the self name is constrained by string.join of the constraints. And Bob's your uncle. There you go. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is say if self constraints dot length is greater than 0, then we're going to say, well, actually, you could just say constraints add range of self constraint types get name. Right? Oh, wait a minute. No. I need to say select get name. Right? There we go. Okay. Because we're just going to go through all of them and then say if you have some, put your names in there. Easy. Halfway there. Constraints. No. Self dot constraints. Constraint nullable annotations. The top of I don't. God, I hope I don't care about that. Constraint types. We already did that one. We want the word constraint. Has reference type constraint. True at the reference type constraint class a specified. Okay, so if it has that, constraints.add class. If self.constraints get constraint, just keep calling yourself because that works. Has constructor constraint. Okay. If it has that, then we're going to say constraints.add new. If constraints. We did the reference type constraints. Constructor has not null. Not null. Okay. Constraints.add not null. If self.constraints. We did the constructor constraint. We did the not null constraint. We did the reference constraint. The unmanaged constraint. That'd be a good one. That's unmanaged. Okay. Constraints add, unmanaged. There's this part of me that's going to go, I'm going to go through all this, and I bet there's like some way to say, just give me all the constraints on this. You tell me. If we hit constructor, not null, reference, unmanaged. Value type. Yeah, so we want to be a struct. Constraints add struct. And I think that's it. If self.constraints reference type constraint null, I'm hoping that's just, I don't care. We're going to find out. So we have unmanaged reference type not null constructor constraint types. So I think that's it. Okay. So what do you think I should do here? Did you answer the question? Write a test, right? Yes, of course you would write a test. Why would you not write a test? That's what we want to write as a test, because writing tests is what we do. So we're going to come into here and we're going to say tests. Public static class tests. Come on. Public static void get constraints when parameter has no constraints. Right? And then I want to do something like this. I want to steal code because 10x developers steal code or something, right? Wait a minute. No. Add missing usings. Yes, I knew there was one. I was always doing that. And why didn't you do link? You suck. You're horrible. Jeez. All right. Copy the code. Now we need to change this. So we're going to get type parameters. So how would we do that? Well, we'll get a type and we will return the dot type parameters of 0. I type parameter, get type parameter. Okay, so then let's come back here and we're doing that. So we want to say, do we want to make this so we're like doing what I thought, like I was just doing in that test, which is like a test case. So I want to pass in like public class target of t, where t is a, well, we just want to do that, okay? And what we expect to get is string.empty. Yeah. Okay, so we put in here string code string.expected constraints. And so we're going to say var parameter symbol is equal to I type parameter symbol extension test get type parameter symbol code. And then we're going to say var constraints is equal to parameter symbol dot get constraints. Yes. You know what, boys and girls? We're going to do that. We're just going to do it in one shot. Var constraints. And then we're going to assert multiple, even though I'm only going to have one, because that's the way I roll. Assert that constraints is equal to expected constraints. Oh, you can't. I know why I can't do that, but that was kind of sad. All right. So this should give us nothing, right? Because we didn't put any constraints on t. And what comes out of this? We get 1001. I'm singing a Rush song. 100. SOS, yes. Okay, this one, let's come to here. No, not that one. So let's constrain it to a type. This will be interesting. Public class base. Okay. Public class target of t where t is of base. How do you like me now? This should be where t has to be base. Do you work? I bet not. Holy crap. I'm stunned. All right, let's just keep going. Has reference type constraint. Public class target t where t is a class. And I expect where t is a class. How do you do now? Do you like me now? 3. Oh my God. Just keep going, Jason. You're on a roll. Constructor constraint, where t is new. So we're going to do where t, no, where t is new. Let's just keep going. I'm getting cocky now. Has not null. where T, is that how you do it? We're going to stop with this one because I don't mean stop like recording. I mean stop like seeing if all these actually, because I don't remember if that's the way you do the constraint on not null. Well, I guess it is because I just knocked it out of the park. Where T is unmanaged. Okay, now I'm going to get cocky again. And we're going to say struct. Okay. And what do we get? Any failures? One failure. Okay, what did I do wrong? Oh, well, you know, that sucks. Type parameter. Ooh. Well, well, well. So you would say unmanaged and struct. That's interesting. Okay, well, you know, I don't really give a crap. If that's what that comes out to be, then fine. You're not going to get any arguments from me. Okay, let's look at C# generic constraints. I just want to make sure that I'm getting all of the constraint on type parameters. Struct class. Let's do a nullable. I think that's actually probably a good idea. Yeah, let's do a, where T is a class. We would expect this to be a class. Bet's going to fail. Bet's going to bomb badly. Yep. See, I knew it. I knew it. Yeah, it doesn't pick up that it's that, but that's okay. We got that case. We got null and managed new base class name, interface. That's fine. The type arguments apply for T must be or derive from the argument. Let's just do that one. Okay, so we can do, we'll do target of T and U, where T has to derive from U, so we would expect T to be U. And we still get the 1. That's okay, because I know that one fails. We can also do the base class one. We're going to say T is base, where T is base. Okay. Why use constraints? That's a very good question. We've pondered that throughout the ages. Unbounded. Yes. Not null. Yep, we did that. Unmanaged. Yep. Delegate constraints. You can use system delegate as a base class constraint. I think I would just pick that up as a type and I would just put it in there. And that would be a value type and I would just pick it up and put it in there. I don't think I would care about that. Okay, so I think the only ones that I'm missing are probably the ones where they are nullables. Okay. And this should be 1. Wow. Really? That's surprising. I honestly, it's when you say class here. Huh. No. And you can't say struct as being a, yeah, struct is just always going to be that. You can't combine the struct constraint with the unmanaged constraint because unmanaged, non-nullable implies the struct constraint. It can't be, okay, so that's just a C# thing. You'd have to do that correctly. But this has to be resolved. Okay, so how am I going to do this? How do I pick up that? So let's comment these out. Let's comment these out. And then let's come into our method here. And something's got to trip to tell us that the constraint is actually some nullable thingy. Right? Okay, so I think if I came down here and I said self Nullable. Constraint nullable annotations. What is it? That's 0. Because of course, it's just a T. Nullable annotations is none. Where T is public class targeted T, where T is a class. That's sugars. Really? Constraint types. Well, okay, yeah, it wouldn't have any constraint types. How the reference type constraint would be class. That should be true. Nullable. Constraint nullable annotations. Wow, really? Huh. That's a little surprising. Reference type constraint nullable annotation. Annotated. Annotated. Okay, so if it's annotated. Okay. So what you need to say here is go we're going to add in here self constraint no equals annotated. Then we're going to say it's class. Otherwise, it's just class. I think that, you know, because, yeah. So if we do this, and then we do this, and then we say run all the tests, do we get 9? 10? What's the number we're looking for? Well, we're looking for 0 failing, which is exactly what we wanted to end the night on a good note. 121 added extension method to get type constraints. Boom, pow. Now that doesn't finish this because now we still need to go into where we're generating the code and making sure we're putting the constraint there. But that should be quote unquote easy. And quite frankly, I'm done for the evening. I want to take a break, but I will pick this up tomorrow. Hopefully that will get in pretty quick. Then we can do this one and then this one, and then I can move on to other projects. I'm hoping tomorrow is a luscious day of coding. Lush, I don't even know what I just said. So I think I'm going to stop and watch some Real Genius. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.